All right, attempt number 12 here on this watch list. I've been having issues with Loom software, but it seems to be going good so far, considering I didn't even get to 10 seconds in on the last several attempts. But nonetheless, what's going on, people? We're back for another weekly watch list. Really excited to go over this one. I think it's definitely the best my system, my levels, my zones have looked. So I'm really excited to go into this week with this game plan and just simply execute on it. I have a really fresh focus this week, a very disciplined game plan that I've laid out for the entire week in regards to strikes, size, expiration, days of expiration, and so on. So I'm really looking forward to a game plan, and I'm looking forward to making this a very strong week. This is now it's month 11 now. 11 full months of trading full time, and that means journaling every day, studying every day, screen time every day, learning from mistakes, just committing, I would say, let's just say the bare minimum, 90 minutes per day. And that's the bare minimum. If I had to say the average, is probably close to 3 hours per day of each day that I've had since January 23rd towards just trading and charting and so on. And I've loved every bit of it, regardless of profit, loss. I've just enjoyed the process the entire time. And I know it's an invaluable skill that not only will reward long-term financially, but also fulfillment-wise. It's just something that I do love to do, and I hope that you guys can see that. Again, I'm making these watch lists just for pure fun and for enjoyment. Again, help me learn, spread value when I can, helps me teach, and I do hope to create some sort of community and family along the way. So let's get right into it. Starting things off here, SPY hourly chart. Okay. First one I'm going to be looking at is going to be this 458.15 to 458.32 zone. This was a heavy resistance to support flip that had amazing confirmation on Friday. It acted first as resistance. We broke through, came down support 1, 2, 3 times. It was just a perfect flip. It was really good price action intraday here. So this is going to be definitely a level I have on watch. Now, as you can see, we are having a gap down this weekend. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this plays out into tomorrow morning into the pre-market. There definitely going to be some price action up here. Now, one thing I'm always doing is you can see this zone here, the white line and white zone, or gray zone, white line, gray zone here. This is my high and low of the previous day. So these are my two main first important areas of interest that I watch every single day, resistance and support. Okay, but because we had this resistance to support flip, I'm definitely going to be watching this here. Does it turn back to resistance, so on, okay? Obviously, again, we have support at the previous low of day. We have resistance at the high of day. I do like calls above this area, above 460. Again, we break, again, retest, then that's why I'm looking at calls. I'm not looking at just a breakout. I do not trade breakouts. I'm looking for the retest and then calls above 460 up to around 462 will be my next area of resistance that I have here. Let's see, zoom out here. I believe I have it here. And I have this coming from I believe it's the 4 hour. Okay, so I'm going to be having that on watch 462.23. Under this previous low day from Friday, next support is going to be down here at this 453.83, but that's a little bit higher risk. I do like this one better here because this is kind of what really started this uptrend here. Came up, made a higher low, and then we ripped up even more. So this support down here is going to be even more higher probability, 453.3. Okay. Last thing I wrote was a possible high risk. I didn't even chart it just for that reason. Possible high risk, resistance, turn to support here at this 457.3. So we'll see there. Again, I don't have it marked down the chart simply just because it's more higher risk. Okay. Went over this resistance for SPY. So lastly, I will look at any Fibonacci here. I just want to double check here. Any other zones that I have looks like good to go. We have our low a day. We went over these two down here. So again, when we get to these zones, I'm not just taking trades. I'm looking for price action. And most importantly, one thing I'm really learning too is volume at these zones and levels. Okay, it needs to have the volume. There's been several times this year where I've had the price action, whether it's on the 5-minute, the 15-minute, or the 2-minute, and the volume's not there, but I take the trade anyway, and it's not confirmed. The probability of me winning those trades has been very, very low. So lastly, Fibonacci, first one. I do have a 38% fib, which is only one I'll use in really strong uptrends like you see here as well. So I want to see again which pivot low to which pivot high it is real quick. I believe it's this one down here. I'll just double check to this pivot high up here. 38%, I have 457.36. So it does look like that is right here from this pivot low to this pivot high. So again, I'm not having it marked. It does kind of line up with that possible resistance to support flip. And this is how I like to use Fibonacci. I like to use it for confirmation rather than just marking out the levels. I like to use support and resistance first and then get extra confirmation with the Fibonacci. So just like I just went over that possible higher risk, I might put a line on the chart there for, especially if price does get near it, just to see how price reacts. That 457.30 area, that does line up to be the 38% Fibonacci retracement. So I will look for potential plays there. And then lastly, from the second low, that second swing low to second swing high here, I'll delete that in a second. I did have 38% at the first support zone. So see how that matches up? Again, 38% I'll use for rejections and support on stronger trends like you see here, like we had on Friday, which was just nuclear. So that 38%, as you can see, it lines right up with that support zone that I already have. So that just gives me extra confluence for that area. So that, again, that is what I will how I'll use Fibonacci. Okay. Now intraday though, again, I'll use it as extra confidence as well and confluence, but I mostly will use Fibonacci intraday for like low a day to high a day. And usually it's been very high probability. I definitely have had a majority of winning trades come from that intraday, high a day to low a day to high a day, support and resistance. All right. So lastly, we'll finish up with IWM. I definitely like SPY better this week for sure. Up with huge days like this, it does just make it a little bit harder, in my opinion, to trade. But nonetheless, we have our zone. So Friday high of day, first resistance. Friday low of day. There's a big zone down here because your low of day is really here down at this 178.2. But this also was a previous support zone that I had. And again, I say support level here at 179.6. So I'm going to go mark this entire zone here as kind of like a supply area, if you will. Pretty big zone, 178.2 all the way up to basically 179. So an 80-cent area. But again, looking for a confirmation, it could bounce. It could bounce here at the level. It could bounce halfway through the zone. Price action and volume to confirm in that area. Same thing here. Resistance to support flip. Also act as a little bit of resistance here on Friday. And then, of course, just major support. So we'll be looking here as well in this zone. And then for my next resistance up, takes us all the way to the 4 hour. So let's go over to the 4 hour. I do like to use the 4 hour for supply and demand on the 4 hour here. What do I look for in supply zones as well is you want to see a small green candle followed by a large red candle. And I'll just do wick to body on that green and red candle here. So if we do have 4 hour supply up here at this 190 area. So coming from anywhere between, I have 189.84 all the way to 190.09. Okay, so that's going to be my main area, my next resistance on IWM. There really isn't much else on the way up there. Like you possibly could get resistance here, but again, it's going to be higher risk. And it's really not far away from where we currently are. And the way that things have been ripping, definitely higher risk there for sure. So this is going to be my next resistance on IWM outside of that previous day high, which, we're right at. So one of my favorite trades I've been setting up recently is just like if we open up around previous day high, we break above and then it becomes support. But obviously, just like SPY, just like this smaller cap that follows SPY, we're already gapping down for Monday, it seems. So we will see kind of where we bounce. So again, we have this zone here. Under that, we have the big zone here. Lastly, Fibonacci, just like always. I do have the 50% retracement is around that resistance to support flip. So if we take this, I believe it's this one here, this swing low to this swing high up here, 50% again around, not quite at it, as you can see, around that resistance to support flip. And then lastly, I just have 61% here at 180.91, as you can see. Actually, here it says 180.33. Why do I have I'm always having these things come up on the chart here. Let me try. It might have been this swing low to this swing high, to be honest. Let's see here. It might have been this one. Let's see. Oh, yeah, so it was this one for sure. 180.90 for 61 fib. Because, again, this is like a blatant swing low to a blatant swing high. So that might be a little bit higher probability. Again, 50 right around that resistance turn to support. So we could gap down, take a touch here, or we could gap down. We could push through, break, retest, and then back down here to possibly the 61 or down to the support here. So we'll see. I don't think it could come all the way back down here, to be honest, with how strong it's been. That'd be a massive, massive move. This is much more likely, this 50% here. Of course, you always have that 38%, just like I said, on SPY. So I'll keep that on watch as well. So that's going to be it. I really appreciate anyone who's been giving these a watch. I really do believe December is going to be my best month of trading. I've been having a lot of breakthroughs in trading, just not having anything to do with the P&L. My system's gotten better. My execution has gotten better. The only thing I'm lacking is consistency. That is the number one thing. I need to get away from the green day to red day, to green day to red day, to green day to 2 red days, right? Like, that's what I've been struggling with most, is just the consistency. So that's going to be my biggest goal. I've definitely gotten to the point where my losses are very small, but with that, my wins have been very smaller. So maximizing my R multiple, maximizing my wins, taking the best possible trades and setups, sticking to my system and plan, and capitalizing on my winners and being consistent with that is how I'm going to get those green days. In regards to my trading rules, if my first trade's a win, I'm done for the day. And if my first trade's a loser, I'll take a second. Regardless, win or loss, I'm done for the day there as well. And that prevents me from over trading. It's a big part of my rule. So that's going to be a goal for this week. I really do believe that I can have a 4 or 5 green day this week. I know that, my luck is right around the corner. It's going to change. So I really do believe that. I've been working very hard. And there's been a lot of those days and trades where things look great, they look right, you execute well, you've been working so hard, and you still just take the loss. And I've had a lot of those recently, November and October. And I really do believe my luck is going to change. Not just luck, it's sort of my preparation and work kind of coming together. So that's going to be it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you do watch these videos, just know that I appreciate every single one of you, and I wish you a wonderful week in your lives, careers, business, and of course trading. So have a green week, and I'll see you all in the next watch list. Peace.